we're gonna go to the Western Conference. Now this is a good one. This is where I want to actually start off with Amos on the Western Conference. Um, I know you. We have the seventh, eighth seed, which is the Lakers versus the Timberwolves, and the ninth, tenth seed, which is the Pelicans versus OKC Thunder. Okay, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think, Amos.
Yep. So going to the seventh, eighth seed. All right. So we have the Lakers versus Minnesota Timberwolves. Talk about two teams kind of trending in opposite directions, right, guys? So you have the Lakers, who I know they've been kind of back and forth, but for the most part, they've been trending up a little bit. They've been above 500
They
the
have
last 10.
since the trade deadline, they have either the first or second best record since then, but they also had the fifth easiest schedule going into after the trade deadline.
I for sure buy that for sure. So end of the day, I think the Lakers are still trending up, whereas the Timberwolves. I mean, let's be real, guys. The whole season, the thing that people talk about with this team is what a bad trade, what a bad fit it was to get Rudy Gobert to pair with Cat, and they just haven't looked comfortable together at all. And I think one of the few good things that came out of the Timberwolves season was, you have someone like Jaden McDaniels who really came into his own. Obviously, Anthony Edwards has kind of found himself too, had another monster year, and I think his jump shot's getting a little better. But Jaden McDaniels.
One thing before you go, Amos. I just wanted to say I was waiting until we were done with the Eastern Conference, but it says that Jaden McDaniels has a fracture in his third and fourth metacarpals in his right hand and has been placed in a cast and is out indefinitely. So he's a non-factor this game now. All because
you stole my juice, by the way, because I was going to say that. No, I'm blind though. I was going to say half of that. So that's really good information, KJ. So to that point, yeah, he's going to be probably out for the whole playoffs. So you talk about their best defender. He was first team all NBA defensively, and I mean, someone like him, he's just so versatile. And even on offense, he can get you some buckets, can shoot good enough. And so when you lose someone like him, who would have been on Braun a majority of the time, that's a big, big loss. And the Timberwolves already don't have playoff experience at all. And, so they're in an uphill battle to beat the Lakers, who have plenty of experience. I know people are either a big LeBron fan or you hate LeBron, but we all know LeBron has experience, and he's going to be rested because we all know he's being sat until this game, and so he'll be rested. We got to hope AD will be rested and healthy. We've talked about this on the show before. When AD is healthy, he's good as a big guys out there. When you talk about Jokic and Embiid, Embiid's right in that class, right? So, I gotta go with the Lakers. I just think it's, they're just trending too well, and the Timberwolves are just trending the opposite direction to really give them a great matchup. So I'm liking Lakers in that first matchup.
Yeah.
As far as the second matchup between OKC and the Pelicans, I think that's a lot harder of a matchup. Let me just ask you guys, what's up with Zion's health? Will Zion be available for that series or for that game?
So they said that he's already passed. He's already been doing his 4-on-4s or whatever. They're just keeping it checked. I think they were just honestly. I just think they were saving him for this because they knew they weren't going to make it. Yeah, because I don't think they were just saving for playoffs. Because I don't think they thought that they were going to get eliminated from the playoffs, but that they were going to get like a 6 or 5 seed. So why not use them in the play-in? That's my opinion.
So going back to what I just said, so if Zion is healthy and he's playing, in fact, let me go back again. Zion realistically probably won't be fully healthy, right? He probably won't be 100%. But if he's healthy, that playoff game, I would like the Pelicans over the Thunder. You're talking about two teams, both not a lot of experience, but the Pelicans at least have a little bit more experience. Certainly CJ McCollum has experience, right? And so I just like a core trio of CJ, Ingram, and Zion. I just think healthy-wise, it's a way better core than anything the Thunder have. And while Shea is that guy, he's that dude. And if you guys haven't seen any of Shea's highlights this year, I definitely recommend going out there and watching this kid play. He's really good. He's a superstar. But I just don't think he's going to have enough help, unfortunately. And Giddey's a nice player. They got some good wing defenders as well, and they have some good young talent. You know, we talked about what's his name, Jalen Williams on last week's episode. How good this kid is too. So they have some good young talent, but they're just not ready, I don't think, just yet. And I think I'm taking the Pelicans high scoring and their core over the Thunder. So
Well, didn't they say that Chet might play?
You know what? So KJ, a month ago they brought up Chet being healthy enough to where he didn't have any restraints, right? And that's what I had heard.
Mhm.
But I haven't heard as far as them bringing him actually to play. You know, so I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a fair. But I guess my thinking, KJ, is if you're the Thunder, do you really want to risk him? Yeah, you get playoff experience, right? But at the same time, do you really want to risk him for maybe 1 game, 2 games, at most 5, 6 games? Do you see the Thunder?
True.
Not talking about. You see the Thunder going too far, right? I don't. So if you're the Thunder, you're talking about a guy who was the number 2 or number 3 pick, and yeah, you don't want to risk his health. I wouldn't think so. I don't see him playing. So I'm just liking the Pelicans core over the Thunder's core for that game. So again, my matchup, guys, I do like the Lakers over Minnesota, and I like the Pelicans over the Thunder. So then that would then have us. What would the next matchup then be, Efren?
The Pelicans versus Timberwolves.
And that's for the 7th AC, right?
No,
For the 8th seed.
Okay, yep. So Pelicans versus the Timberwolves, you said. So yeah, same situation, guys. I'm going with the Pelicans. I just think the Pelicans can outscore the Timberwolves. And it's tough because the Timberwolves can score. They have 2 guys who are true dominant scorers in the Timberwolves, you know, so they can score too. But I just like that trio with Zion, CJ, and
Ingram.
Ingram, yep. I just like that trio on top of their experience level versus Minnesota, and I just think Minnesota's defense is going to take a massive hit. You know, and then obviously losing D'Lo, you know, that while they played fine without D'Lo, I think D'Lo's been better for the Lakers. You know, that's still a less firepower that they have, and so I just don't see them being able to keep up with the Pelicans in that situation. I think it would be a good game. So yeah, give me the Pelicans beating the Timberwolves in that last game to get the 8 seed.
So you have the Lakers as a 7th seed and the Pelicans as an 8 seed. Do you see? Okay, and just like we asked on the other side, do you see either the 7th or the 8th seed beating the 1 or the 2 seed in the Western Conference?
And that's a good question. So anybody that's followed us knows my take has kind of been, you know, the Western Conference is just all over the place this year. It truly is. It's wild. It's all over the place. You could see the top team winning. You could see the bottom team winning. The East just has so much high-level talent, top-heavy talent. You know, if you would have asked me that East question, Efren, I would have probably said no, right? Because I have such confidence in the Boston Celtics, in the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Milwaukee Bucks, especially the Bucks and the Celtics, whereas the West is completely different. You talk about the Lakers. You could argue the Lakers have more firepower, especially from a top-heavy standpoint, than a Denver Nuggets, than a Sacramento Kings, you know, than a Memphis Grizzlies. So I do think that they could win, especially with their experience, man. You talk about LeBron James, who when he's healthy, he's still arguably a top 5 player in the league. You know, AD, I won't repeat what I just said, but he is literally an elite big man. So, you know, you could argue that 1-2 punch is the best in that whole conference alone, and they have the experience. So, you know, I could see the Lakers going decently far. I've been the one, you guys know this, I've been touting the Nuggets, you know, and I think the Nuggets is finally their year to potentially break through, okay? Because they've disappointed everybody. They've choked the last few years, you know. But I'd be lying to say that they have experience winning because they don't. So why couldn't the Lakers upset them? Because they don't have experience in winning, you know? So the Pelicans, especially, right? We saw what the Pelicans did last year. Was it last year or 2 years ago where they got to game, I think it was last year, right? Game 7 with CJ McCollum, who ended up going off. Was that?
Oh, against the Suns.
Yes, some, So the Pelicans have shown when they're healthy, that they can take an elite team to the brim. So why couldn't the Pelicans even give the scare, So yeah, I just think it's completely different. The West, expect upsets. That's all I'll say. Expect upsets. The East, no upsets.
Okay.
But that's my side of the West, Efren. KJ,
Okay.
what do you think about those matches?
All right, so I've been telling the Lakers for a long time they're probably my second favorite team in the league. Like with Rudy Gobert, he's got a 1-game suspension for punching Kyle Anderson, and then you got your best defender out. Name another person on the team that plays defense. Mike Conley's probably their next best defender, and he's 30-some years old. So yeah, I think that even though he had a bad playoff series last year, D'Lo really made that team run. Like Conley can score, but he's not the same facilitator as D'Lo. And then with no defense, what?
I'm sorry, especially now though, right? With Conley, how old he is now,
Yeah, and especially without D'Lo, and they had Jared Vanderbilt. I know he went to the Jazz, but last year he was on the Timberwolves. Without him, I don't see them beating anybody. And now you have no defense, and it's the same thing I said for the Mavs. They went from the 4 seed down to the 11 and missed the playoffs because they have no defense. And obviously, they don't have the same star power as Luka and Kyrie together. You got Cat and Ant Edwards. So yeah, I see the Lakers. They're gonna win that game. I think it's gonna be an easy win, but the Lakers are somehow gonna find a way to make it a close game at the end. And then Pelicans OKC. I really want Shea to win because I think he can do it. But like you said, if Zion plays, it doesn't matter. They're gonna. The thing with Zion is, if that's his first game back, how is the offense gonna look? Are you gonna have CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram standing around while Zion has the ball, kind of like the Lakers did when LeBron came back against the Bulls? There was a lot of just standing around waiting for Zion or waiting for LeBron to do something. Now, LeBron's more ball dominant than Zion. He needs the ball in his hands. Zion, he could just post up, do a move, and then dunk on somebody. So, I think with that being said, since he's not as ball dominant, it'll be an easier transition back into the offense because you got to realize when Zion was playing, Ingram was out with an injury. When Ingram came back, Zion went out with his injury. But I think they've been together long enough, even in practices, that they got the chemistry. They'll be good. And then, like I said, I don't see the Timberwolves beating anybody. So if the Pelicans get on to that next game, I think they win. Just like Amos said, I got the Lakers playing the Grizzlies, and then the Pelicans playing Denver. And I mean, I don't know, man. Like Amos said, this whole season for the West is just up for grabs. I could see there being a scenario. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's so unlikely with Zion's health and all of this. I could see a Lakers-Pelicans finals. I mean, that's how crazy deep the whole West is and how much parity there is. I don't trust Denver. I think they could win easily. I think the Pelicans could win easily against Denver. I don't trust Jokic. I mean, Valanciunas isn't that bad of a player compared to you. I mean, Jokic is that good, but Valanciunas is an above average player, center. And then the Lakers, I think they can take care of Memphis. I would have rather they played Denver because that's an easier matchup for them. Because I mean, who's going to guard LeBron? Michael Porter Jr. Whereas Memphis, they got Jaren Jackson. You got Dylan Brooks. I mean, I know Dylan Brooks, nobody thinks he's that good, which he's not, but he can play a little bit of defense. Yeah, like I said, I could see.
I feel like that's going to be a good matchup.
Which one? Memphis and Lakers?
Lakers, just because you got Jackson that can go against AD.
Yeah.
You got Jaw that can go against D'Lo. You got what's the other guys from the other guard
Dylan Brooks.
for Lakers?
Oh, Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves that will go against
Desmond Bain.
Yeah.
T-Rex arms.
So you got and then you got people off the bench coming off, So
Yeah.
both
It
sides,
really
would be a
comes.
good matchup.
Well, yeah,
I
and
would've-
all of the Lakers' success depends on like Malik Beasley, Troy Brown, all of their bench shooters. Are they going to hit or are they going to miss? And then how well can Vanderbilt guard these players? Because I think Vanderbilt would be on Jaren Jackson. I think Jaren Jackson would guard Anthony Davis, but I don't think Anthony Davis would be on Jaren Jackson just to save Anthony Davis from getting hurt from playing with Jaren Jackson because he's so physical.
If I could just add something too, real quick, man, and that's a good kind of point you too. Like the Lakers can certainly beat the Grizzlies; they can beat anybody in the conference. But one thing I'll add to that I didn't say, that Memphis Grizzlies is probably the worst matchup for the Lakers, and that was, I mean, like you said, Efren, I totally agree. I would
Besides
like
the Suns.
Well, I can jump to that in a second. But as far as like the Lakers, I think Denver, like you said, they wouldn't really had anybody to stop LeBron. Denver is just a lot worse of a defensive team. Whereas Memphis, man, they have Jaren Jackson, arguably the best power forward center defender versus AD, right? You have guys who, like Brooks, you have a lot of wing defenders you can throw on LeBron and irritate the hell out of him, right? You're not going to stop LeBron fully. And like Bane, he's a pain in the neck. Like Ron hates this dude, right? So, and then on top of that, Jaw, we like D'Lo. We do like D'Lo, but he's not no Jaw, right? I think we all agree with that. And so, I think it's a really brutal matchup for the Lakers, honestly, man. When you look at Memphis's defense, they have a superstar. They have a team that can counter with a superstar. They have a team that can counter with defense. They have enough guys. They have enough wing scorers. They have enough scoring. I just think it's a bad matchup. Sorry, KJ, keep.
Has the Lakers played the Grizzlies since the trade?
Nope.
They haven't. I think they might have played once, but Ja wasn't playing.
But
They did once, yeah.
Memphis won.
They did. Memphis won. They did.
Okay.
They did play. Ja wasn't playing, and it was the game. KJ, remember where Bane was talking hella shit to Braun, and Braun was like, "Dude, just keep it to basketball. Like, shut up, bro."
No,
like,
that was like last season. That video that came out.
No, that was this season.
No, when he was like, I don't play that shit. I'm not the right one.
When Shannon Sharp was there.
Oh no, the video, no, the one that he's talking about, that Amos is talking about, was last year when he was
talking about Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, no, you're talking about Dylan Brooks and Shannon Sharp argument. That was the one that happened this year.
No, but they were arguing with LeBron too. That's how it all started.
No, because Dylan Brooks came down court and said, "Your man can't guard me," because Dylan Brooks hit something on LeBron, and Shannon Sharp said, "Keep it to basketball." Last year was the one where they were at the free throw line, and LeBron was like, "Hey, I'm not the one. I don't play that shit. Just play ball." That video happened last year. I think they just reposted it on the date that it happened this year, like a 1 year anniversary of the video or something.
For sure. I mean, it did happen last year, but still, they don't mess with each other, right? So I just think, man, the Memphis is. I mean,
well, that was what I was gonna say. The disrespect that Memphis has for these older teams, these greats, it's gonna be a lot of controversy. And like you said, they don't like each other.
It's crazy.
What do you think, Efren? What do you think?
Well, you guys are gonna see my take. Okay,
Oh, he's gonna say Minnesota's gonna be the 7th seed.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. So look, I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna start off with the 9th and 10th seed in the West first.
Of course.
Look at him; he's already dying because of the LeBron hit.
So the 9th and 10th seed, we got OKC versus the Pelicans. Both great teams, both young talent, both can do a lot. I just don't see the consistency of OKC compared to a Pelicans team that's been there. Like, we've been there. We can do this. Like you said, Zion comes back. That's another big factor for them to make a play, make a run, and do everything they have to do. So I believe that the Pelicans will advance in that game and be in the 8-9 match later on. Now, the 8-9 match, the 7-8 match, which is the Lakers versus the Timberwolves. So yes, Rudy Gobert is suspended. I understand. Mike McDaniels is hurt. Hey, sir, don't fall asleep. Okay? Don't fall asleep.
It's Jaden
But I feel
McDaniels,
like-
not Mike
I
McDaniels.
feel like
That's the Dolphins coach. You don't even
But
know the
that's
player.
Well, like I'm telling you, right now, I feel like the Timberwolves, this is going to be a team decision. They will lose. They will beat the Lakers tonight. Oh, Tuesday. Sorry. The Lakers will lose to the Timberwolves. Okay? Just because LA has 2 home games. Right or wrong.
Yeah.
So why not beat the team that you think you can beat in the first round and lose the first game and play again at home against the Pelicans and then take that 8 seed and go in and then beat the number 1 seed.
I wouldn't risk it against Zion, though.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you want to play against the Pelicans?
But we don't know.
in a-
But this is the thing. We don't know how good Zion's going to come back as.
It don't
And
matter.
like you
He's
guys
still a
said-
threat. It's like
But
when
hold on.
it's like if you
But
throw
hold on.
Curry out there.
But AD's playing great right now. Like you guys say. Right or
But
wrong.
why would you want? But why would you want them to have to play one more extra game? We always talk about their health. Like they need to sit and rest, man. I don't want them to have to play back to backs. I want them to play one win.
But you got to remember, they're not playing back to backs.
Well, not a back to back, but why would play an extra game?
That's what I'm
You're
saying.
not
We don't
playing
playoff.
back-to-back. But if you think
That's
about
what I'm
it,
saying.
but then you're gonna go.
But it's not.
But this is me going with. I'd rather go with the team. I'm looking into the playoffs. You know, are you gonna go? You actually, like you said, it's a bad matchup for the Lakers to play against Memphis.
Yeah, but what would
Right
you
or
rather
wrong.
have? What would you rather have?
I'd rather play.
Do you think that-
the Nuggets.
No, but do you think that the Lakers could beat the Memphis?
No,
You don't think they could? Okay. Because I was going to say, if you think they can beat Memphis, the
I
next
don't
round.
think so.
No. What
Nope.
I'm saying is,
I don't think they can beat Memphis.
no, I know. But
I
what
don't
I'm
think
saying
they
is, if they could beat Memphis, I would rather them play the Kings of the Warriors than
Yeah.
beat Denver and then play Phoenix.
No. But see, that's the thing. They're not. They know, and I think LeBron knows. LeBron is smart. You know he will take over one of the playing games. You know he might not take over the Minnesota one because you remember, another thing you're not talking about is even if Minnesota loses this game, they go back home and Rudy Gobert comes back for the next game. He's just suspended 1 game. That team is still good enough, and that team has proven that they can beat the Lakers, Minnesota, this year. Multiple
But
times.
the one game is against the Lakers without Rudy Gobert, then they would be locked against Memphis. They wouldn't be playing.
I understand, but do you think the Lakers can beat Memphis?
Yes.
Honestly, no.
Especially last year with what was it, the first time the Timberwolves made the playoffs in a while, and since Jimmy Butler was there, and they were up every game on Memphis, and they just were so bad with keeping leads, and they had Cat's cringy ass saying, "Oh, wait till they come to our house." I think that on top of losing Brandon Clark, they don't know when Steven Adams is coming back. The whole jaw stuff, their chemistry is not as good as it was before. The Lakers definitely could beat Memphis.
Like I said, Ron,
Well,
we're going by our opinions. My opinion.
I'm sorry. Let me just jump in two seconds. Like you said, I agree with you, bro. Like you're absolutely right. Memphis is going to be a harder matchup than the Lakers, and I actually do tend to agree with you, right? Like I do think Lakers would probably lose that series. So I mean, you're not wrong, but my point, and the floor is yours after I say this. My point is just that you're asking for a lot for the Lakers to then want to sit, basically purposely lose, and then I said back to back, but we all know playoffs you don't play back to back. So what I meant is you're playing back to back playoff games, and so you're now having to play a game 7 base, an extra game 7 because you wanted to purposely lose. That just doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do agree with you. Like, yeah, Memphis is a harder matchup, but you still don't want to do all that extra stuff just to avoid them. You know?
I understand. And like I said, I understand what you guys.
But sorry.
What did you say? It cut out. What was that last part? Amos?
Sorry, Efren. If I cut you off again. No, I was just saying like, well, so I don't know what you might have missed, but I was just basically saying like, you're doing all this extra steps basically to avoid one series, and you even kind of said yourself, KJ, too. If you avoid that one series to play, let's say the Nuggets, well, okay, fine, but then maybe you then get without me looking at the brackets, you then maybe get the Suns faster than you would have gotten later on. So it kind of goes back, and so at the end of the day, you're not going to want to risk a loss for a game 7 where you could then lose and then not even have a series.
Well, that's what I was saying was I would avoid the Suns before I avoid Memphis. Like, I mean, none of us had Memphis going far.
Yeah,
even when we were doing our playoff stuff.
You guys got to remember too. You guys got to remember this too. I know I'm a big Suns promoter this year. I had the Suns going all the way. They were on a 7-game winning streak, and Kevin Durant came back. But like you guys said, we don't know the health of Anthony Davis through the playoffs. We don't know. Right now he's healthy, so right now he can make a run. Would you rather him? And this is why I'm saying it. Why not lose this first game? And I understand what you're saying. You got to play again on Friday, win that game, and then you don't play again until Sunday or Monday. Game 1.
If you win.
Yeah, but you play 2 home games. You're not traveling. You're not traveling anywhere. You're staying at home.
That's true, but if you're saying that the reason why you would rather play Denver is Anthony Davis's health, and I would rather the Lakers play Memphis because they don't have a big like Jokic that if Anthony Davis needs to sit out a couple games, LeBron doesn't have to go guard a 5, and now the 3 is left wide open to score because what their 3 is Dylan Brooks, who's going to score. Whereas if you play Denver, Anthony Davis goes out. Now you're going to have to put Vando.
You still have that kid Walker who's been playing good.
Who?
Walker from the Lakers.
Walker?
The one that had
Lonnie Walker?
Yeah.
But he's like 6'4". He's not going to be able to guard a Michael Porter or an Aaron Gordon.
That is true too.
Because if you got Aaron Gordon out there, LeBron's going to have to guard Aaron Gordon because he's so much bigger and physical than Jokic. And you put Vanderbilt on Jokic. Now you got Michael Porter left with who? Troy Brown, Malik Beasley, Austin Reeves. I mean, subpar defenders. Whereas you go against Memphis, there's no Steven Adams and there's no Brandon Clark. So they have no big man.
How do we know that Steven Adams is not coming back right now?
From what I heard, they said that he was missing the playoffs.
He is. They've already announced it. But going back to what KJ said, I hear what you're saying, KJ. But regardless, either way, though, if Anthony Davis is out, they're not beating Memphis like they wouldn't beat Denver.
Yeah,
but they would have a better chance.
If
I just don't know that.
Sorry to say,
but KJ.
Sorry.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Finish your thought, Amos.
No. It's all you, Efren. We keep talking at the same time. You go, Efren, and then I'll go after.
But like you're saying, I'm talking about Anthony Davis being healthy right now. This is the best time to use him wherever you can. And I feel like you go in and you beat Denver. You coming in to play Denver instead of a Memphis team. You understand what I'm saying? I understand what you're saying. It's a bad idea, but I'd rather take that and play 2 homes that I know I'm not traveling. They're coming here. I feel that that's going to happen. That Minnesota's going to win this game. Everybody's going to rule Minnesota out because they have no Rudy Gobert. They have, we don't even know if what's the name's playing. There's nothing. They didn't say if he was going to sit out because he was talking shit yesterday.
Oh, Kyle Anderson.
Yeah. So we don't. But at the same time, the Lakers can afford to lose this game. So how do we know they're not? How do we know how they're going to come out and play? They might not even come out and play hard.
You got to look at it from another story perspective. Is D'Lo's going to want to get his revenge, kind of how they said Russell Westbrook's going to want to get his revenge against the Lakers. D'Lo's going to want to get his revenge because you got to remember when D'Lo got to Minnesota, Cat was out there with his jersey. Everybody was saying D'Lo found a home to stay for the next 10 years, all that, and then he has one bad playoff series, and then they ship him off to LA. And they said, "Oh, Mike Conley's better for us because he's got playoff experience. He's this, that, and the other." When D'Lo, we all know D'Lo's a better player than Mike Conley.
KJ, can
What?
I ask a question?
What's that?
Who's your favorite NBA player at the moment?
My favorite NBA player,
Yeah.
D'Lo.
And then this guy goes, "Oh, they shipped him because of a one playoff series." We're just going to act like he wasn't. He was just average, though. I mean,
He was averaging like I want to say 15 and 8,
Well, he's
which
always
is
been trashed in any playoff series he's played in.
whoa. The Brooklyn year, the year he was in Brooklyn.
Efren, that's kind of my point, though. I'm just saying, I'm giving KJ shit, obviously, but like to me, Brooklyn D'Lo for sure was the truth. But like you said, Efren, D'Lo to me has always been kind of an above-average point guard, right? So to me, they didn't ship him because of just that playoff series. To me, he's just not. I don't think he's that point guard that they thought they envisioned, right? They thought they could take him deep into a series.
Well, he was supposed to be the second best, but then they got Anthony Edwards, and it's like now he's the third one, but they expected him to put up second option numbers. But in the playoffs, no, he shot really bad, and that's why they said, okay, because remember they were talking about the two things they said with Minnesota when they lost to Memphis was the reason why they were blowing leads and stuff was because D'Lo was shooting terribly, and because the coach was making terrible substitutions at terrible moments. But the thing with D'Lo is, Efren, you say he's been bad in playoffs. He played in Brooklyn in the playoffs. Then they wanted to get Kyrie and Durant. So then he went to Golden State where they had the worst record, like at 19 wins. And then he got shipped to Minnesota where they didn't make the playoffs the year before and then last year. So he's only played in 2 playoff series. And one, he played mid. The other one, he played really great. He was the best player on that Brooklyn Nets team.
The playoffs with the Lakers too?
No, because they traded him before LeBron got there, I thought.
All I'm saying is I just think he shows a lot. That's all I'm saying. I think he just doesn't perform a lot.
I think he played in one playoff series.
No, they didn't. No, he didn't, because they traded D'Lo before they got Lonzo. And then Lonzo was on that team with LeBron, and then they traded all of them to New Orleans for Anthony Davis.
I understand what you're saying, so but just back to what I was saying, guys. Just finish it off. This is my opinion. Just like we want everybody's opinion. Subscribe, please, to Sports Bros. We're here to hear you guys out. My opinion is I feel like the Lakers will do this. They'll probably lose this week. They will be the 8th seed. I know you guys probably don't agree with this, guys, but I feel like they'll lose, become the 8th seed, and have a better chance at that number 1 spot versus against the number 1 team, and see how that matches up.
I think they go into I think the league investigates the Lakers if they lose to the Timberwolves without Rudy.
Because honestly, I feel like those matchups are good enough to watch. Also, you got a good Denver team against a Lakers team that can be hot or can be, we don't know what they're going to come in to the playoffs. Just like Denver, we don't know what they're going to come into the playoffs. But there's upsets that could be in there. Just like Amos said, there's a lot of upsets. Okay?
Especially in the East with Miami.
But that's my stuff. Reach out on the comments. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know if you guys think if there's going to be, any more upsets later on. We will be talking about the rest of the playoffs next week after we know everybody that's in. We just wanted to talk about the play-in today.